R&B is a genre rooted in feeling, warmth, groove, and expression. From classic soul to modern new soul and trop soul, the sounds we use shape a track's emotional depth. Today, we're going to build 5 essential R&B sounds inside Vital, one of the most powerful and versatile wavetable synthesizers available. These sounds aren't complex or overprocessed. They're designed to be musical, expressive, and ready to play in your productions. In this video, we'll walk through Wurlitzer electric piano, warm atmospheric pad, smooth R&B pluck, expressive R&B lead, and bells. We'll start from an empty patch and bring each sound to life, explaining every parameter, modulation choice, and creative intention along the way. Let's begin. Before we design our first patch, it's important to understand what makes R&B sounds feel the way they do. R&B sound design emphasizes smooth tone, controlled energy, expressive dynamics, and musical space. Unlike EDM or aggressive synth genres, R&B favors soft transitions, gentle filter movement, and performance-driven modulation. Vital's architecture, with flexible wavetables, routing, and modulation, gives us the tools to sculpt these qualities intentionally. We'll start from an initialized preset, which gives us a blank canvas.
Let's design our first sound, Wurlitzer electric piano, perfect for warm chord progressions and smooth harmonies. Step 1. Oscillator. Right off the bat, we're going to use the harmonic series wavetable from the factory. Go to and open the editor. Keep the first 2 keyframes and remove all the rest. Slide the second keyframe over all the way to the right and the first one all the way to the left and get the maximum resolution. Let's add a modifier. Choose Wave Warp and add a keyframe and add another keyframe at the end. And let's set X Warp to 9 and click on the right keyframe. Step 2. Amplitude envelope. Set envelope 1 and sustain all the way down to 0. And increase the decay by about 10. And then I'll use envelope 2. I'm going to lower the sustain on this one as well. I'm going to lower the attack to 0. And I'm going to set the decay to about 7 seconds. Now I'm going to drag envelope 2 over to the wavetable position and set the modulation amount to 68. And we are going to use the formant shifting and drag envelope 2 to the formant, and let's set the formant amount to 0.11. Now we are going to use the smear mode for the spectral morph feature, then turn it all the way down. So on envelope 3, turn the sustain all the way down and the attack all the way up. Keep the decay at the default value, then lower the curve a little bit and drag envelope 3 to the smear. Then set the modulation amount to 0.1. Now let's drag the velocity to these modulation amounts on envelope 1 and envelope 3. Step 3. Filter. Now I'm going to turn on filter 1, choose comp, and I'm going to use spread flange negative. I'm going to set the resonance of this filter to 75. And then I'm going to turn key tracking all the way to the right. Then set the cut to 9. and let's set the blend to 0.5. I'm going to lower the mix to 70%. On the velocity track, set it to 45. Then drag the velocity to the mix of filter and set it to -0.4. Now I'm going to use LFO2, set it to seconds. And I'm going to set the phase to 0.25. Hold Shift to make this bipolar and drag it over to the pan, and hold Shift and drag it over to the level as well. And I'm going to control these with macro. On macro 1, we will control panning, and on macro 2, we are going to control the tremolo. And I'm going to use macro 3 to control the frequency of the LFO. So I'm going to hold Shift and drag the macro to the frequency, and I'm going to set the modulation to about 0.3. And I'm going to drag macro 4 over to the velocity on every single one of these modulations. And let's rename this macro velocity range. Step 4. Effects. Now add an EQ, just cutting out some of the very high highs. Let's turn on the reverb. Set the chorus to about 12. Set the mix to only 15% of the reverb. Set the delay to about 0.025. This is the foundation of the Expressive Wurlitzer electric piano for R&B and many other music genres.
Next up, a warm atmospheric pad, the kind of texture that fills space without dominating the mix. Step 1. Oscillators. Use Oscillator 1, Basic Shapes Wavetable. Add some unison to about 52% and increase voices to 8. Set the spectral morph to about 7.5. And on the advanced page, turn down the detune range to 0.3. Step 3. Filter and movement. On the LFO1, click on the triangle and change it to sidechain 1. Set the mood to sync and frequency to seconds. Step 2. Envelope. On envelope 1, let's increase the attack and the release. This allows the pad to swell and fade gently, creating a sense of air and depth. Step 4. Effects.
Add EQ and reverb. That's it.
Now we'll design a smooth R&B pluck, a tight rhythmic element ideal for arpeggios, stabs, and melodic patterns. Step 1, oscillator. Choose basic shapes wavetable on oscillator 1. Set unison to 10 and set phase and phase randomization to 0. Set the spectral morph to around 6.5. In the phase section, we are going to add FM oscillator 2. Set the wave morph to 54%. Choose basic shapes wavetable on oscillator 2. Set unison to 10. And set phase and phase randomization to 0. And also set the spectral morph to around 6.5. On oscillator 2, set transpose to 12. And the level is all the way down to 0. Step 2, amplitude envelope. On envelope 1, sustain all the way down to 0. Set the release to 0.064. Increase attack to 0.002. And we are going to drag an envelope 1 over to the FM oscillator. Set envelope 1 amount to about 0.591. Set the envelope for a pluck shape. Fast attack, short decay, low sustain, medium release. This gives clarity and rhythmic precision without harshness. Step 4, expression. Now I'm going to use LFO2 and choose sine. Set the frequency to sync and the seconds. Set frequency to 0.432. Smooth all the way down to 0. Set on random 1 to seconds. And set frequency to 0.328. Set the bend to 48. Step 4, add effects. Add flange and reverb. Our fourth patch is an expressive lead, a sound that feels like a second voice in the song. Step 1, oscillator. Pick a wavetable rich in mids. We're avoiding harsh or brittle textures here. So on oscillator 1, let's choose a vital sine. On phase, set both options to 0. On oscillator 2, choose basic shapes. Set the transpose to -12 and set the level to 0.036. Step 2. Mono and glide. Switch to mono mode and enable portamento, or glide. Set glide time so notes slide into each other gently, not too fast, not too slow. This creates the characteristic fluidity many R&B leads exhibit. Step 4. Expression. On LFO1, change triangle to syn. And set the frequency to 1.28.0 seconds. And drag LFO1 to both tune in oscillator 1 and 2. Set both modulations to around 0.4, and drag the mod wheel to both modulations on LFO1. Now you're playing dynamics shape both expression and tone. A good lead feels alive, not static, and this mapping brings it to life. Step 4. Effects. Turn on distortion, and reverb decreases the time, size, and mix. Turn on the delay, set the frequency to 1.4, decrease the feedback, and mix as well. Now turn the EQ and cut the low. That's it.
Our final sound is the bells. We are going to begin by recreating one of the most iconic sounds of the Yamaha DX7 synthesizer. Use basic shapes in every oscillator for a clean low end. And I'm going to lower the phase randomization in each oscillator to about 0. Now, let's shape the bell's envelope. On envelope 1, I'm going to lower sustain all the way down. Then increase the decay to about 10 seconds. And I'm going to change the release time to 0.5 seconds. Now, drag the envelope 1 curve down. And I'm going to turn on oscillator 2. On oscillator 1, we're going to choose FM from oscillator 2. I'm going to lower the phase randomization to about 0. Let's adjust the frequency of oscillator 2 and raise the transpose to 22. Then turn the level down to 0. Let's turn down the unison detune to 0 in each oscillator. Then lower the wave morph in oscillator 1 to about 0. And we will control the wave morph with macro 1. So I'm going to drag macro 1 over. Let's set macro 1 to 0.12. Now we are going to turn on oscillator 3. Lower phase randomization to 0 again. Let's adjust the frequency of oscillator 3 and raise the transpose to 22 too. On oscillator 2, turn on FM from oscillator 3. And turn down the wave morph to about 0. For envelope 2, set the decay time to 3 seconds. Set sustain all the way down. And pull down the envelope 2 curve. In oscillator 2, I'm going to control the wave morph with envelope 2.
Then drag the envelope 2 macro over to the wavemorph on oscillator 2. And click on the modulation amount, and let's set it to about 0.15. Now, let's turn on the sample and choose the grinder from the factory. Lower the level all the way down. And on envelope 3, turn down the sustain all the way down. Let's set the decay to 0.3. And pull the curve down to make it much steeper. And set the release to 0.3 as well. Now I'm going to drag the envelope 3 macro over to the level of the grinder sample. Then turn on filter 2 and set it to phaser -1. We are going to set the blend all the way to the right. And set the resonances to 100% as well. Set the cutoff to about 52.68. And set the tracking to about 60%. Now let's glue that together in another filter. Turn on filter 1. Turn off the oscillator and turn on the sample on filter 2. Lower the resonance all the way down. Now drag the cutoff all the way to the left.
Control cutoff with macro 2. And set the macro amount to 0.55. Let's drag envelope 2 to the cutoff again. And let's set the modulation amount to 38. Now, raise the transpose in oscillator 1 an octave by holding Shift and scrolling your mouse. And on oscillator 2, change the transpose to 34 by holding Alt and typing the number. Then transpose an octave on oscillator 3 too. Now go to the advanced section. Increase the transposition up to 12. Hold Shift, let's drag macro 3 to decay for both envelopes 1 and 2. And set these amounts to 0.5. Set the macro amount to 0.5 as well. Now let's go to the effects. I'm going to start by turning on my equalizer. Turn on the low pass and set the resonance to 5. And set the cutoff to 120. Turn on the high pass filter as well. Set the resonance to 0. And set the cutoff to 30. Turn on the chorus. But keep the equalizer first. Lower the voice to 4 voices. Set the frequency to 8/1. Lower the mix to about 30. Lower the spread to about 0.3. Set the cutoff to about 72.78 point. After the chorus, let's add a delay. Set the mood to mid ping pong. Set the tempo of the right channel to dotted. Set the feedback to 7/0. Set the mix down to 20. Set the cutoff to 90. And set the spread to 0.2. Now turn on the reverb. Set the low cut to 30. Set the chorus amount to 15. Set the chorus frequency to about 0.175.
Set the size to 30. For time, 2 seconds. And set the mix to 30. Let's drag macro 4 over the modulation on envelope 3 to control the level of the sample.
As we look up, it's worth remembering. In R&B sound design, your choices are guided by musical purpose, not complexity. Each sound we designed, keys, pad, pluck, lead, bells, has tone, expression, space, and musical context. Vital gives us an incredibly flexible toolset to bring these elements to life, but the artist relies in restraint, knowing how much modulation, how much brightness, how much movement serves the music. If you enjoyed this deep dive into R&B sound design in Vital, please like and subscribe for more tutorials like this. Let me know in the comments which other genres or synth techniques you'd like to explore next, and grab the free R&B starter pack. Thank you for watching and keep creating.